Today, I want to talk to you about something simple, but powerful. 4 words. Stay hungry, stay foolish. They're not just advice. They're a way of living. When you're hungry, you're not satisfied. You don't rest on what you've done. You keep going. You keep going. You keep building. You keep asking, what's next? Hunger is what drives invention. It drives change. It makes people get up when they fall and try again. And foolishness, it's not what you think. Being foolish means daring to dream when everyone else says, be realistic. It means questioning the rules, ignoring the limits, taking risks that might not work, but just might change everything. The world will try to make you play it safe. It will tell you to settle down, blend in, follow the map. But the people who changed the world never followed maps. They drew new ones. You don't need to know everything to begin. You just need curiosity, courage, and the willingness to look foolish while you learn. If you're waiting for permission, don't. If you're waiting to be ready, you won't be. Just start. Move forward. Stay hungry. Push the edge of what you know. Stay foolish. Believe in ideas others don't understand yet. The ones who are crazy enough to keep going are usually the ones who get there. Thank you. Hunger is the spark that starts everything. It's that quiet restlessness you feel when you know you're meant for more. You're meant for more. It doesn't come from comfort or success. It comes from the gaps, the questions, the what-ifs that won't let you sleep. Hunger is not a weakness. It's the most honest signal that you're still alive, still curious, still not finished. The moment you stop feeling it, you start settling. And that's when growth begins to die. People who are hungry don't wait for opportunities. They chase them, build them, or invent them. They don't sit back hoping to be discovered. They show up even when no one's watching. They use failure as fuel because hunger won't let them stop at failure. When the door closes, they try the window. And if that's locked too, they build a ladder. Hunger doesn't negotiate with limits, it breaks through them, one attempt at a time. Hunger also means staying dissatisfied, even when things are working. It's not greed, it's evolution. A hungry mind doesn't just ask, oh, what's next? It asks, how can this be better? That's the kind of mindset that makes something great and then tears it down to build something greater. It's the reason why the best creators never settle for their last success. They keep moving, keep questioning, keep reaching into the unknown. And hunger isn't loud. It doesn't need applause. You don't always see it, but you feel it in long nights, in quiet mornings, in the discomfort of being in love with something that hasn't happened yet. It keeps you up, and it gets you up, and it gets you up. Faster, work harder, and think deeper than anyone expects. Because inside there's this voice that says, you haven't even scratched the surface. That voice is hunger. And if you listen to it, it will take you farther than talent, luck, or timing ever could. Foolishness is misunderstood. We're taught to avoid it, to play it safe, to look like we know what we're doing, even when we don't. But real progress doesn't come from always being right. It comes from daring to be wrong. The people who make history are rarely the ones who followed instructions perfectly. Ew. They're the ones who broke them, who asked questions that made others uncomfortable, who pursued ideas that sounded ridiculous until they weren't. When you allow yourself to be foolish, you give yourself permission to imagine without limits. You stop filtering your thoughts through fear. Fear. You stop shrinking your ideas to fit into what's practical. Every great innovation began as a foolish thought. A light bulb instead of gas lamps. A flying machine instead of horses. A computer in every home. These weren't reasonable ideas when they were first imagined. They were first imagined. They were foolish. And that's exactly why they mattered. Foolishness is freedom. It lets you take risks without needing approval. It lets you learn by trying, not by waiting. The fool isn't afraid to raise their hand in the room and ask the question no one else will. Not because they know the answer, but because they want to understand. And that simple courage to ask, to try, to fail publicly is what unlocks doors that remain closed to the careful, the cautious, and the calculated. In a world obsessed with expertise and certainty, being foolish is revolutionary. It means you still believe something better is possible. It means you're not afraid to look strange while chasing what matters. And while others wait for the world to change, the fool is already building it, imperfectly, unapologetically, and ahead of their time. Certainty is comfortable, but curiosity is powerful. Certainty makes you feel in control, like you have the answers, like you've arrived. But the moment you think you know everything, you stop growing. Curiosity, on the other hand, is uncomfortable. It asks you to admit you don't know. It invites you into the unknown. But that's exactly where new things are born. Not from what we already understand, but from what we're still trying to figure out. Curiosity is the engine behind every meaningful discovery. It's not glamorous. It often starts with small, strange questions. Why does this work that way? What if we tried something different? It's the quiet persistence of pulling on a thread, not knowing where it leads, but pulling anyway. You don't need a title to be curious. You don't need a roadmap. You just need to care deeply about something you don't yet understand, and the courage to follow it. Certainty tells you to wait until you're ready. Curiosity says start now. You can't innovate from a place of knowing everything. You innovate by staying open. Children are naturally curious. They explore first, ask later, and never pretend to understand what they don't. Somewhere along the way, adults forget that. We trade our questions for answers that make us feel safe. But the people who keep creating, who keep pushing forward, are the ones who never stopped asking why. The real breakthroughs don't come from people who are the most certain. They come from people who are willing to stay lost a little longer. Curiosity is messy. It's nonlinear. It means being okay with not having immediate results, not being taken seriously at first, and not always being right. But that same curiosity will take you places that certainty never could. It will open new doors, spark new ideas, and keep you moving forward, long after others have stopped. The safe path is designed to protect you. It's paved with expectations, lined with approval, and marked by familiar milestones. Nudes. You're told to do this, then that, and you'll be fine. And for a while, it works. You feel secure, you blend in. But deep down, something starts to fade. The spark, the edge, the reason you started. Because the safe path doesn't ask much of you. Fit in, not to stand out. And the truth is, nothing truly extraordinary ever came from playing it safe. Challenging the safe path doesn't mean being reckless. It means refusing to accept limits that were built for someone else's dream. It means trusting your instinct when it tells you there's more. Where? The world needs people who are willing to step off the path, to take detours that don't make sense at first. That's where innovation happens. Off the map, in the in-between place, where rules haven't been written yet. The ones who change things are rarely the ones who followed the instructions perfectly. They're the ones who questioned why the rules existed in the first place. There's risk in leaving the known. You might fail. You might fall. People might not understand what you're doing. We're doing. But that's part of the cost of doing anything worthwhile. Growth demands discomfort. Progress demands resistance. The safe path can only take you as far as others have gone. But if you want to go beyond, you have to be willing to walk into uncertainty, to make decisions that aren't easy to explain. The people who built the future didn't follow trends. They made their own. Fluff. Every time you challenge the safe path, you create a new one, first for yourself, then for others. You give permission to those behind you to dream louder, to try harder, to trust their own voice. You become a signal that it's okay to leave the script and write something different. And while the world may not understand you at first, that doesn't mean you're wrong. It might just mean you're early. We spend so much time waiting to be ready, waiting to feel confident, waiting for the perfect idea, the right moment, the green light. But here's the truth. You're never fully ready. You're never fully ready. No one ever is. Readiness is a myth we tell ourselves to delay the risk of beginning. The people who make things happen in the world didn't wait until they were fully prepared. They began while they were still figuring it out. They took the first step not because they knew what would happen, but because they were willing to find out. Starting before you're ready doesn't mean starting carelessly. It means trusting your instinct over your insecurity. It means valuing action over perfection. You don't need to know all the answers to take the first step. You just need to know that it matters. You'll learn more by doing in 1 week than by planning for a year. The path reveals itself in motion. Standing still only makes the fear louder. Every idea starts fragile. Every dream feels impossible at first. That's normal. But if you wait until you feel brave, you'll wait forever. Bravery isn't what you feel before you begin. It's what you earn after you do. You build it in the process. The mistakes, the detours, the awkward starts, they aren't signs that you began too early. They're signs that you're growing, moving, becoming. The edge of discomfort is where real progress lives. Some of the most important things you'll ever create won't look like much in the beginning. You worry. They'll be messy, half-formed, and misunderstood. And that's okay. If you need every piece in place before you move, you'll miss the very thing you're meant to do. The real shift happens when you stop asking, "Am I ready?" and start asking, "What's the next right move?" Because if you take that step, imperfect, unsure, unfinished, you're already ahead of most. The journey doesn't start when you're ready. It starts the moment you decide to begin. So here's the invitation. Stay hungry. Stay foolish. Stay hungry for growth, for ideas, for something more than what the world says you should want. Don't let comfort make you forget why you started. And stay foolish enough to believe that you can build something better, even if no one else sees it yet. Be the one who dares, who tries, who gets it wrong just so they can get it right. The world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more brave ones, more curious minds, more risk takers, more voices that say, "Oh, what if?" instead of "Oh, what is?" So don't wait, don't shrink, don't settle, begin. Explore, build, question, fall, get up, and begin again. Stay hungry, stay foolish, always. Thank you.